Gosh, we have a whole like 11 people already waiting.
Oh my God,
Oh my gosh,
wonderful.
we are live. We are live. We're live.
Welcome, welcome,
Oh,
welcome.
this is exciting. Well, we're gonna do like some quick introductions. It looks like we already have quite a group waiting. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Gina. Um, a lot of you probably know me, and today I have a. I'm not going to say guest because she's going to be a regular. She's the co-host of the show starting today. So
Yay!
if this is MJ, and I'm going to give her a chance to introduce herself a little bit more, so you know a little bit more about her, right? But in the past, I know you a lot of you may have heard that I was doing a show called Tea Talk, and it was good. But I know it could have been better because basically all I did was I talked about the different herbal teas and the ingredients and the benefits of those ingredients. But I know that I could have taken that show to another level. So somehow on Facebook I came upon a post that MJ did, and she was hers was called Tea Talk, and I thought, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to her and see if she would join forces with me. You know, when you get that feeling, you just kind of do it because you know that it felt right. So I immediately reached out to her. She thought the idea was great, and we got together. And in about 15 minutes on a call last week, we put this thing together and we said, okay, next week we're starting. Right?
Next
It was
week?
literally as simple as that. So this is going to be an elevated tea talk. I am going to, you know, give you the deets about the usual, the benefits of the ingredients of the teas. But I asked MJ to talk about the spiritual aspect of the ingredients of these teas because most people, when you drink a cup of ginger tea, you thought, oh, this is really good for my stomach. But it is so much more than that. I mean, we're going to elevate tea with this show. Okay.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
for those of you who are, I mean, let's go to the top. There's, oh my gosh, Tangi, Lisa, Jillian, Cecilia,
Hey
uh,
guys, thank you,
Janelle.
thank you,
There's so
thank
many
you for
people who
supporting
are
us.
watching. So thank you all for joining us. Some of you I know, some of you I don't, but welcome to everyone. MJ, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a chance to just introduce yourself and tell people who you are, what you do, that sort of thing.
Okay, awesome, great. So, hi guys, hi, welcome. I'm MJ. I am a, oh my God, I'm gonna try to say this really quick. I am a past life regressionist. Do you lose me? I am a past life regressionist level 2, 3. I am a high priestess. I am a light language activator. I am a psychic medium. I do tarot and oracle, and altogether, I'm just overall connected with spirit. I can hear them, I can feel them, I can see them, and I can taste them. So, taste is what we're talking about here when we come to tea. It's the spirituality of the tea, which I think is so great. I'm a tea drinker. Every morning I sit there. It's so grounding. It's my connection with spirit. Before I even channel, I'm sitting with my cup of tea, my sexy cup, because let's be honest, let's get the sexy cup in there,
Yep,
you know. And then I connect with the tea. And it's very, remember, the connection with tea isn't because we're talking, there's the tea that comes from a tree, and the leaf comes from the ground, and the roots come from Mama Gaia. So we're talking goddess energy, we're talking earth energy, and we're talking grounding, just like this crystal. What you do with tea is what you're. So let's bring that together spiritually. Let's pull some cards and let's see what you need spiritually. And let's take that 30 minutes of your life and sit back and really, really enjoy that cup of tea. So I'm so glad to
exactly.
be with you. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, MJ. And just so you know, I have my cup of tea as well. And the one that we're going to be taking today is maybe I should introduce myself to those who don't know me, right?
Yes.
I'm kind of assuming that everybody knows me, but I know there are a lot of new faces here. So, my name is Gina, like I said, and I'm I call myself a complementary therapist practitioner, and that basically are some big words for somebody who wears a lot of hats. Let's put it that way. I do art therapy and sound therapy, and uh, I'm a master herbalist. I'm actually working on my doctorate in hypnotherapy, a psychohypnotherapy. Um, Gosh, it's just a lot of stuff. So there, I work with so many different modalities now as well as in the past. For those of you who don't know me, I was diagnosed with lupus many years ago. I don't even remember the date because I choose not to. And it took me many, many years in order to heal my body of the autoimmune effects. And as a result of that, I decided to start to teach people that yes, you don't have to take the doctor's words that lupus is incurable, because I don't agree, um, because I've healed myself from it. And it wasn't just the physical part of it, it was also the spiritual part, because that is a huge part of healing. Knowing where your traumas are, digging up those traumas, sitting with those traumas and crying and loving them and doing everything that you have to do with them and releasing them, right? So it's not just the physical healing, there was also the spiritual and emotional healing that I went through. So just a little, that's just a tidbit about my background. I actually just came from my doctor, and I do all of my regular checkups. I do have a team of doctors that I still work with, but it's basically going in saying, oh, you're still doing really good. Your blood work looks amazing. Keep up the good work. See you in 4 months. That's where, as opposed to initially when, I was going through pages and pages of blood work and figuring out why this medication wasn't working and that one. It's just the person you're seeing sitting in front of you. This is the true me. You don't have to text me afterward to say if I was putting on or whatever. I've had those calls. People asking me, are you telling the truth? Honestly, yes. Who you see, this is not a recording. We are live. All right. So yes, I work with things on a physical level, but I also work with these on a spiritual level. And MJ and I actually connected a few years ago on how do you put it? A program. It's much more
Mhm.
than a program. That's not even the right word, but called Soul Shift. And it was amazing. It was so amazing. So we've kept in touch over the years, and we followed each other, and we're in different groups. And yes, here we are doing the show together, and I'm so excited. Today is just the first one of many. It's going to be a weekly show. That's why it's called Tea Talk Tuesdays, because it will be
Yeah.
every Tuesday. Um, and I will do my best not to plan anything else around this particular time. Today, I actually forgot I had a doctor's appointment, which is why we're running a little bit behind. But I managed to make it to the doctor's appointment. I'm here. All right. So like I said, the teas that we're going to be working with today, it comes from this, and this was gifted to me by my sister at Christmas, and it's called Lifted Cup. And I thought it's really neat. Underneath, I don't know if you can see, it actually says tea elevated. So it was appropriate for what we want to do, which is to elevate the whole experience of a cup of tea. It's not just sitting down and drinking a hot cup of tea to warm up your body on a cold winter's night or winter's day, whatever the case is. We're going to make tea an a spiritual experience.
Like a ritual, like a daily ritual that you
Yes.
do, like, and actually, and if you don't like the word ritual, you can actually, it's like brushing your teeth. You get up every morning,
Mhm.
you brush your teeth. Tea should be just like that. It's your moment of grounding, connecting body, soul, and spirit with yourself and saying, hey, MJ, are you okay right now? What do you need? Let's take a moment and see what you need. And not only your outside, talk about your skin, talk about your organs, talk about your heart. You are blessing your whole body with this amazing ingredients that it's going to ground everything. So say your heart's going through some heartbreak, drink some nice tea, is going to calm your heart down. There's calming teas, know that. All right, you want prosperity, let's drink a tree to bring in that prosperity. So we want to use these teas for many different, not only to mentally and physically, but to spiritually get back into focus with ourselves. So I love this.
Exactly.
I love this. Mhm.
By the way, I love the color that you're wearing. And guys, no, this was not planned. We neither one of us knew what the other was going to wear today, but we both are wearing gold. You notice that?
The color of power. Look at that. It's
We
brilliant.
are.
I think it's amazing. I
Yes,
laughed when I first saw you. I'm like, oh my God, we're wearing gold.
we are. Yes, we're wearing gold. So, yeah. All right. So the tea that we're going to work with today is the gingerbread spice, and the ingredients are black tea, cinnamon. I have it right here, vanilla, and the ginger. And I
Hmm.
have a few props, like the actual things. There's a ginger root. I work with ginger every single day. And I'm going to show you a couple things, but I wanted to share with you the actual. So there's let me take it out of the container. Here's a piece of the cinnamon, and it is a tree bark. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Vanilla, let me take it out of there as well. Most of you are probably used to that imitation vanilla that you
The
buy.
little drops.
No,
Yeah.
this is the vanilla bean, which comes from an orchid from Madagascar. So this is the vanilla bean, which I slice open, and then I put it into some alcohol, some usually like vodka. You leave it for about 3 to 4 months, and you have real vanilla that you can use with your baking, not that artificial stuff. So wanted to, I don't know how many of you have actually seen the real vanilla bean. It's not really hard to find, but you really do have to know that vanilla isn't that artificial stuff. There is something that it looks like, the vanilla
And it
bean.
really tastes, it has a different taste to it, to be honest with you. It
Exactly.
tastes better. When you taste it, it's like, oh my God, why didn't I do this before? So I invite you to go and get some vanilla bean and try it. And then on the spiritual sense, what is vanilla? Vanilla is love, prosperity, love, light energy. Okay. It's about your abilities and your creativity. So when you're bringing in vanilla, you're sprinkling that into your life. Did you know that?
Exactly. So let me give a little bit of the what I'm going to call the medicinal benefits of it. And then MJ is going to talk a little bit more about the spiritual aspects. So vanilla, I actually use the vanilla essential oil in so many things, including baking. But in the baking side of it, the vanilla essential oil is so powerful. It is so strong. You literally need 1 drop to like 4 cups of whatever it is you're making. It is that powerful. So the vanilla essential oil, if you're not too many people like to cook with certain essential oils, and you really do have to be trained with it. So I'm going to put that caveat out there. But because I've been working with essential oils for so long now, I know which ones I like to use in food and different products that I use on my body or in my body. Right. So the vanilla, whether it's the vanilla bean, if you're doing an extract, or the essential oil, it's really really good for your skin. If you have any kind of like acne issues, the vanilla essential oil mixed with a little bit of carrier oil put on there, that will actually help with the acne condition that you may have. Okay. There's one property that I'm going to leave to the end, and we'll, we'll tie that in together, right? Vanilla is rich in antioxidants, and you're going to hear some of this stuff repeated in almost every ingredient that we're going to talk about, because that's the beauty of using these herbs. They help to protect your body from that, all of the oxidative stress that your body goes through on a daily basis, right? So vanilla is rich in antioxidants. It is anti-inflammatory, just like all of the other ingredients. So this tea alone is a powerful anti-inflammatory tea. So you're drinking it because it smells good, it tastes amazing, but the benefits that you're getting on the inside, if you have any kind of inflammation issues going on, and that's one of the things that prompted me years ago when I was first diagnosed with lupus, was researching into different herbs and spices that would help with the inflammation. For those of you who are curious, and I use that term in a,
I'm curious.
you're curious, I have written extensively on my journey with lupus. And you can find the articles and you can see what I used to look like. Yes, I actually put the pictures out there for the world to see. And you can see what I woke up looking like pretty much every single day as far as the inflammation was concerned, the swelling in the eyes, everything is there. So all you have to do is just type in my name, type in lupus, and all of the articles I've ever written regarding my journey with lupus and regarding my journey with the different herbs that I worked with and essential oils that I worked with in my healing journey. And you will see that I don't speak about these things because I just want to. I speak about them because I know they truly have healing properties on a physical level, medicinal level, a spiritual level. There, and I've written about them extensively, so you can find those if you're really curious as to, you know, whether I'm telling the truth or not. Let's just put that out there, okay?
I
Um,
just want to say on a side note that for Gina, I went to her because I had some conditions and I went to her and I have everything that she has said and done. I've been following to the letter. And I tell you, it has helped on my journey. So I want you to know that everything that she says, I'm like, I followed all those articles. Those articles are amazing and her journey. So I'm proud of her. And I'm honored just to sit next to be on the same channel with her after all she's went through. Because, and
thank you.
helping me to cut her journey and reading those articles made me know that my journey is not going to be that. And even though I'm going to go through the process as well, I know I can do it because if she did it and she's magical, I am just as magical and I can do this too. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Gina.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And yes, you are just as magical. And everyone who's in the feed, Lisa says Soul Shift was good. Janelle, Soul Sisters. I'm trying to read it as quickly as possible because it's moving. I want to say Elebra, Divine Timing. Tara says twinning, LOL. We surely are today, huh?
We really are. It's a sign.
Marines Rivera, love the gold. Cecilia looks like a lot of googly eyes but there's a lot of love. Martha says I have like 8 days drinking tea again on a daily basis from Good Earth Sweet and Spice original. Stacy sends lots of love. Ilian sends lots of love. Cecilia says, yes, I've read some of them and I was awake for 2 hours in the middle of the night reading your articles. Love, love. Oh, Cecilia, thank you. Not quite the late night read, but
No.
they were helpful. And Stacy says, MJ, you are so inspiring. Yes, she is. That's why she's on the
Oh,
show.
thank you. Thank you guys. I love you. I love you all.
Yeah, so back to the vanilla. Like we're talking about the anti-inflammatory properties. I've worked with vanilla for years, and it's in the essential oil blend that I use on my face. It's in quite a few natural perfumes that I've made, as well as I'm sure that you've worked with vanilla essential oil in your perfumes as well, MJ. But there's
Yes.
that is it. The anti-inflammatory properties are amazing. Vanilla also helps to improve your good cholesterol. Well, it improves cholesterol overall by reducing the bad cholesterol. So,
So I can have vanilla ice cream? No. Okay. Sorry. All right.
let me think about that one. Aromatherapy. If you go in, take a couple drops of vanilla essential oil, just put into some water, put on the stove top, and just bring it down to a simmer. Oh my gosh. If you're stressed, it's going to just reduce that stress so much because the scent of vanilla essential oil just releases any kind of, stress that you may have in your body. So as an aromatherapy um, product, yes, definitely want to work with vanilla essential oil, or even, in your foods or in your tea, add some vanilla in there, and yes,
I just
elevates
want to
that
say
to a
on the
whole new level.
spiritual note, for vanilla, you can add some on a candle. You want to call in love. You want to call in prosperity. You can add a little vanilla. Take that vanilla and add it to a little candle. And there you go. Candle magic. You're calling it in
Exactly.
with vanilla. And how amazing would that candle smell when you lit it? Wow. You'll have your whole home smelling like candle, but it's dual purpose. Not only smell, and when you smell it too, you're actually get the aroma is helping your body, mind, and spirit. But you're
Exactly.
calling in. You could add it onto that candle and say, I call you in, my love, my vanilla love, come to me.
Exactly. Exactly. And let me talk about candles a little bit. When you don't have to spend a fortune on candles, and I'm going to give you a little secret of mine. I go to the Dollar Tree. Yes, Dollar Tree. And I'm very picky about the some of the candles that are there. Yes. But you bring them home, you clear them, and I just take a metal skewer and I punch a hole all the way down. I tend to buy the ones that are in glass jars, but I
Novela.
punch a hole all the way down till it hits the bottom. And that hole, I fill that with whatever essential oils I want. And then I might sprinkle some cinnamon on there and add a few more herbs on there, add a few crystal chips in there, and you have elevated that dollar candle to $100 candle. And
Absolutely. And
it's
you get the same blessings.
exactly, exactly. So just a few tips if you do love the Dollar Tree as much as I do, and you want to bring in all of the candles, and yes, just do that. There are a lot of ways of working with your magic and not having to spend a fortune. Okay.
Absolutely. Use what you have. A lot of people don't use. Well, I've been buying crystals, and I just learned recently that some of the herbs that you had for your magical spells expire. So use what you have, because if you're going to have something
Mhm.
that's going to inspire you, what was the purpose? So it's time to get our hands dirty, guys. Let's and make some teas and use that magic on that. So what's the
Exactly.
next ingredients?
The next ingredient is cinnamon. Let's talk about cinnamon. Let me show you the cinnamon stick again. And a lot of you, do you realize that the cinnamon is actually from the bark of a tree, the inner bark of the tree? So see, when you take it off, it curls like this. That's not all completely natural. And it smells amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So I love to keep, the raw cinnamon like this around because I just pop it into a pot on the stove with some dried orange peel or fresh orange peel, a couple pieces of clove, and you let that come to a boil and you turn it down and you have this amazing potpourri. It's like no need to spend any money on potpourri. You just use these. Or even if you don't have the raw cinnamon, if you have the powdered, you do the same thing. I actually have the powder cinnamon right here. So you can find this in the powder as well as raw like this. If all you have is the powder whatever herbs, you just sprinkle that into a little pot on the stove. You don't have to go and spend a bunch of money on essential oils. I mean, if you want to, yes, I have all the things, okay, all the things, the herbs, the essential oils, I've got them all. But if all you have is just a bunch of spices and herbs in your pantry, go to your pantry, pull out your powdered ginger, pull out your powdered clove, your powdered cinnamon, put them into a pot on the stove. Whenever you peel an orange, don't throw that peel away. Set it aside for it to dry. Save them and just pop off a few pieces of that. Pop it into the pot with all of your other spices. Crank that baby up to boil, and then once it starts to boil, turn it down really low so it just simmers, and the aroma. I mean, it just fills your home, and it's natural potpourri. It is good for you. You're not inhaling any of those artificial perfumes, artificial dyes, whatever the case is, right? So save your orange peels. I know we're kind of digressing a little bit, but save all of your lemon peels, your orange peels, tangerine peels, all of them. Just save them. All right. So cinnamon, like it's delicious, it's nutritious. Comes from the bark of the tree, which I mentioned, and it was actually once considered to be more valuable than gold. Yes, more
Yep.
valuable than gold. It's very warming. Just like a few of the others I'm gonna talk about. Cinnamon is very warming to the body, so that's why it's really good on a cold winter's day or night, right? It is loaded with antioxidants. Mentioned that already with the vanilla, and it tends to kind of slow down the aging process. So uh, it reduces the oxidative stress on your body, strengthens your immune system. It's antiviral, it's antibacterial, it's antimicrobial, it's all of those things. Right. So it's also anti-inflammatory, which I also mentioned about the vanilla. So you'll hear that quite a bit with the ingredients that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to show you one item at the end. Don't let me forget, because I
You,
probably
you
will.
got me curious about that one item. And then what about cinnamon for its spiritual properties? You know, spiritual cinnamon back in the day used to be traded because it was so rich. Back in Egypt, they would trade cinnamon. So back in Mesopotamia and all those time frames, guess what?
Mhm,
Cinnamon was front and center and it was like gold and they would trade it.
mhm,
And for them, it was more purification. It was money. It was literally okay here. I'll take your wife here, take some cinnamon. Damn, really?
mhm.
Okay.
Exactly.
And they would light it in rituals in Egypt. They would light it for to connect with the gods. They actually
Mhm,
would put it into a bowl and put it on fire, and the rich priest would smell it because it enhanced their
mhm,
psychic abilities to connect with
mhm,
the stars. So cinnamon is a powerhouse.
mhm. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the kind of the different ways that we can work with these herbs, you know. But you reminded me of something I do want to talk about, because that last item has an ingredient in there that I've questioned in some research I did over the last couple of years. And it has to do with the gifts that the wise men presented to baby Jesus. And I know that when people hear this story, especially when it relates to, the whole idea of, if cinnamon was at one time worth more than gold itself, wait until I tell you about this other ingredient. And it's really going to get you thinking, because it got me thinking. And I know that when some pastors hear it, they're going to say, "Oh, that's blasphemy," but we'll get to there. All right. So the cinnamon is anti-inflammatory. It reduces pain. And I want to talk a little bit about inflammation for a little bit, because I know I say it's anti-inflammatory, and when people hear that, they think that inflammation is a bad thing. Inflammation is actually a very good thing. Inflammation is naturally present in your body. On a small scale, it is good because it helps to fight whatever infection you may have happening in your body. However, when there is chronic inflammation, that is bad. And that can lead to a whole lot of other issues. So inflammation naturally occurs in your body on a small scale. We just so the cinnamon will help to keep that level where it's supposed to be. But if you have chronic inflammation, like what exists when you have issues like lupus and all of those other rheumatic kind of illnesses, then that is what's bad. Because when it's chronic and it's always present, it affects your joints. And I know a lot of people who have been diagnosed with lupus, who've had joint replacements, like in shoulders and their knees and hips, and that's when inflammation tends to be bad, when it gets chronic and it just starts to damage your tissues and your joints. But inflammation occurs in the body naturally. Okay, so I don't want to give inflammation a bad name, because it's there naturally and it's there to serve a purpose. But we want to keep it at the minimal level, not allow it to go out of control.
I think it
Yeah, let me
sometimes it
just
gives
check the
itself a
feed.
bad name.
Huh?
I said sometimes it gives itself a bad name, like
Yes.
hello, stop it.
Mhm. Let me check the feed again. I don't know if that's Lillian or Ilian. I want to think it's Lillian. She says orange peel tea with ginger is yum. And you just reminded me of something, Lillian. Yes, a lot of these. I talk about the potpourri, the natural potpourri, but you can actually drink this stuff. You throw some cloves in there, some cinnamon, some ginger peel, um, maybe some lemon peel. Yes, it's to make your house smell good, but if you wanted to go and strain some into a cup and drink it, you can. Tell me if
It
you can
tastes
do that with all
amazing.
of the other artificial potpourri,
Hmm.
right? So that's a good point. Um, I can't. don't know, Eliebre. I'm probably butchering that name. I heard that most cinnamon sticks are actually cassia bark these days because it's cheaper to manufacture. Um, you're I'm not sure about that. I can do some more research into that one.
Yeah.
The cinnamon, a lot of the cinnamon that I have gotten in the past actually came from a tree in Jamaica, like me physically going and getting it and bringing it back. So, but the ones I don't have the bag for this one. So I know a lot of the, but I couldn't tell you whether it's a cassia tree or not. But that's something for me to look into. So thank you for that comment.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
everything, but I like when questions come up and makes me research. Okay.
Well, no, because I researched the tree too, because that's a different tree, and we want to make sure we get the right information about the tree. So thank you for that.
Exactly. Tara says a friend told me that she puts coffee outside with cinnamon in it as an offering to the angels. Oh, okay. But you know what? The coffee with the cinnamon, that is something I was about to mention. That if you add coffee to your cinnamon, it is a natural sweetener. You don't have to add sugar. Or, if you want to add creamer, fine. But cinnamon in itself is a natural sweetener. And you can add that to your coffee, to your tea. So Tara, thank you for that point because now I don't have to mention it, right? You already did. So I'm hoping that you can follow the feed over there on YouTube. Cecilia said, "Hi, Tara." Cecilia said it says it sucks, and I'm thinking you're referring to the inflammation that
Inflammation
occurs
in the
from all of the
body. Yeah.
different. Right. Yes. Um, more. Oh, well, she says tea. A couple things has helped more than what the pills and doctors give out. And there are two items that she has mentioned that have the CBD is one of them, THC. So we know what plant she's talking about, right? Yes, inflammation. LOL.
It's the
Should
best
have written
plant.
that. It's okay, Cecilia. Yeah, we got you. I understood what you were talking about. Um, so just those are just a couple. Let me give a few more benefits of the cinnamon. If you have any issues with blood sugar, cinnamon actually helps to lower your blood sugar levels and helps to kind of balance it out. The only caveat there is if you are taking any kind of medication that is for diabetes or to help with your blood sugar, be very careful when using cinnamon because cinnamon naturally lowers it. And then if you're taking medication to lower it, you're going to lower it too much and you'll run into problems. So
Absolutely.
always
Keep a
check with your
candy in your
doctor.
bag.
Always check with your doctor before you add any kind of herbal therapy to pharmaceuticals that you might be taking already, okay? Because cinnamon just naturally lowers your blood sugar levels. Do you want to add in anything there before I jump into the next
No, jump
benefit?
into cinnamon is an overall, we already know how important that is. So cinnamon
Okay.
is like everything. I already told you. So jump into the next one.
Okay, so the one of the things I mentioned in one of my articles is a powder toothpaste, oral toothpaste that I created years ago when I was first diagnosed, and I was having a lot of issues with my mouth because of all of the oral ulcers. At one time, I think I had about 15 oral ulcers in my mouth. Most people have one, and they complain that one is really painful. If you've ever had a canker sore,
The
imagine having
worst.
15 all at once. It's not pleasant. So I did a lot of research into a lot of these different herbs and started to make this tooth powder. And it's in my article. You can find the ingredients, you can find the recipe all there. You can make it yourself. But that tooth powder saved my gums, my teeth, my smile. I'm still working on it because there's a couple of things that I still have to fix. But I started to lose my teeth because of lupus, and I had to find something that was going to help. And cinnamon was one of the ingredients, or is one of the ingredients in my tooth powder. In addition to things like clove, which is antiparasitic, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, all the antis. So cinnamon is really good when it comes to your oral hygiene. And you can find a lot of toothpaste that actually have cinnamon in there. It's not there just for the smell. It's good for the antimicrobial benefits that it gives to your mouth as well. So um, that cinnamon is not necessarily looked at as being good for your skin, but it really is because it is such the essential oil is such is considered to be a hot oil. And by hot I don't mean as in temperature, hot as in
Spicy.
if you put it on your skin without mixing it with a carrier oil, it could burn your skin. That's what we refer to as a hot oil. It's very strong.
It's spicy. I call it spicy. It got that little spiciness when it touches me.
Right.
So yeah, I agree.
So whenever you use cinnamon on your skin, you always want to make sure that it's diluted with what we call a carrier oil, like jojoba or olive oil or coconut oil. All right, but it is very good for your skin if you have any, kind of acne or any kind of breakout. Like I said, it's got the antimicrobial, antibiotic properties, but you always want to mix it with a carrier oil, always, because it is considered to be one of the hot oils. All right, another benefit is it does help with your brain. It's really good for brain health. It keeps you sharp, and so that's one of the reasons why I love to work with cinnamon. I tend to do it during the day because if I have a drink like this, the one that I'm drinking now, if I drink this at night, it's going to keep me up because it's going to boost my energy, and I'm going to be just kind of wired and bouncy. So this is not for some people, it may not even bother you. For me, it does.
It's like an upper. Yeah. It's right. Like if you're studying, this is good. You put it on, you light an incense, a cinnamon incense, or you boil some in the when you just want to have, and you need to work, it activates you. It makes you come alive. You get all tingly. It gives you that, oh, okay, I gotta motivate. It's like having fluorite. It's like the crystal fluorite. That's what it is. It's the equal version to the crystal fluorite because it makes you, let's focus. Let's get this done, guys. Let's go. And then you start hipping. You get that pep in your step. And there you go. That's
I'm going to write that down because that was really neat. Fluorite and gingerbread spice equivalent.
There you go. And remember, Cynthia's like the number one, so it goes on everything.
Huh?
It's the crystal. It's fluoride. It's the crystal equivalent to that. So it gives you that bouncy. That bounce in your step and that love in your, and just like the vanilla for me would be rhodonite, because rhodonite is that pinkish kind of, I'm gonna love you, but I'm gonna give you strength and courage at the same time, and I'm gonna give you creativity. So to me, it's like a rhodonite kind of pinkish. Let's give you a little love, but that darkness is like, let's go. Okay, stop it. Spiritual chancla to you if you don't go, but that's rhodonite to me with vanilla. So that's how I'm balancing out the crystals with the herbs.
Right. So I love how you're doing that. Let me go to the feed again. Karen says, "Hello, beautiful ladies." Hi, Karen. We have another one. It's also good for regulating blood pressure, and that was from Val. And you know what? You guys are just so good with all of these benefits. I might as well just throw my cards away because I'm just putting them right there in the chat. Great. It is. Yes, it's really good for regulating your blood pressure as well. And by regulating your blood pressure, of course, it's going to be good for your heart, right? Because you're regulating your blood pressure and your heart doesn't have to work quite as hard. All right, so that was cinnamon. The next one is ginger. Ginger. Who doesn't like some ginger? Ginger in all its forms.
I love ginger.
This ginger comes fresh, like I have here. I love fresh ginger, especially when I'm juicing. I use ginger and lemon in every juice I make. It's just a thing. So always in there. You can also use powdered ginger. There's also crystallized ginger. I love crystallized ginger. Has a lot of sugar on it, but hey, you can find ginger candy out there. You find ginger in so many different forms, right? Powdered ginger is typically what is used in different teas. Or you can just simply slice up fresh ginger and add a piece of the cinnamon and a piece of the vanilla, and you literally have this tea and some black tea. That's the only thing that I did not do the research on was
The black tea.
the black tea. But if you add, because this particular one does have black tea in it, which is another reason why it keeps me up, because black tea does have a little bit of that caffeine.
Right.
So you don't want to be drinking too much caffeine at night because it is going to keep you awake, right? But let's talk about ginger. Some of the things again are going to be repeated. Ginger is it's anti-inflammatory. So you're looking at a very powerful tea because every ingredient here, it has anti-inflammatory benefits. Now, the particular family that ginger comes from is the way I'm pronouncing it, Zingibercaceae or CI. I butchered it. I was never really good at this type of,
Look at that.
I am a master herbalist, but when it comes to learning these, I said,
Do
can I
not
just
speak
write
the
it
English
down? I write
language.
it down and give you the answer. I know my limits. Okay. But it is related to turmeric or turmeric, depending on how you pronounce it. It's related to cardamom, right? So turmeric, let me share this one with you. This is a blend that I have been working with for about 7 years. Let me see if I can bring it. This is a blend of frankincense, turmeric, and ginger.
Magic in the bottle. That is magic right there, guys.
Okay.
Seriously, that little pill.
So I've been working with this for about 7 years, and this is the very first blend that I started to take when I was first. It was about a year after I was diagnosed with lupus, and I started to do a lot of research. And just to, make a long story short, I went to an herbalist because I was feeling really ill on that particular day. Walked in, told the herbalist what I wanted, in and out, in and out, in and out of the store, thinking I was going to be sick. And next thing I knew, I was waking up with a bunch of faces looking down at me because I had collapsed and was literally on the verge of a heart attack because of 2 pharmaceutical meds that I combined that morning, which had been prescribed, which should never have been prescribed together. But that's another story for another day. Okay. So that's another thing this thing does. It really clears my nostrils. Sorry. There's the cinnamon, the ginger, it clears your sinuses. So on that particular day, I made, the promise to myself that I was going to really start to research. And this particular blend was given to me by that particular herbalist that day. Now I've added things to it like black pepper. Sometimes I add cayenne pepper because you do need pepper and a fat in order to allow the turmeric to really do what it needs to do within your body. But this is frankincense, turmeric, and ginger. And the frankincense, we know, was a gift that was given to baby Jesus. And yes, you can act. This is made from the frankincense resin. Yes, you can consume it. It's not going to kill you.
Nope.
This is anti-inflammatory power in a little pill right here. Okay.
Really good,
Now,
guys.
what I
And
wanted to talk,
inexpensive.
and yes, it is. Frankincense essential oil is, whew. But I wanted to talk about the turmeric. That was the item I wanted to mention. I'm going to tell you a little story as to why well, let's talk about ginger first before. All right. So ginger, it's this is the root. Ginger is the root, or what we call the rhizome of the plant. This is in the dirt. There's a plant that comes up, has the green leaves, and it blooms this really red pretty flower. And I've actually written an article about that too because I've grown ginger myself, so I know exactly what the plant looks like. But you pull the plant out of the pot. I grew it in a pot, much easier. And you see these things at the bottom throughout the dirt. So you get rid of the dirt, you wash it, you clean it up, and this is it. So the root of the plant is or the rhizome is what you consume, and this is what's dried and then powdered. So it's there are numerous benefits of ginger. Not just the anti-inflammatory part, but it's got the antioxidant. benefits, which I mentioned already. As far as the others are concerned, it also helps. And when you have any kind of nausea, what do they usually give you to drink? For me, it was always ginger tea. Have some ginger tea, or suck on a ginger candy, or here's a piece of
Or
ginger.
ginger ale, or ginger
Or
soda, even ginger ale all the time. My grandma was like, "Here, you got a
exactly,
soda." So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about the only soda that I keep is the ginger ale or ginger beer, because my son sometimes have upset stomach, so I said here, that's because I don't drink
ginger
soda,
ale.
so
Mm-hmm.
that's the only one. Um, Cheryl says love ginger, works amazing for motion sickness. It sure does, for morning sickness and inflammation. See, I told you I don't need my notes. I just go to the feed because you guys know your stuff.
It's really
Cheryl
good.
says
Yeah.
I'd love to grow it in Florida. It is very easy to grow. You just grow it in a pot.
Yep.
And like I said, I've written an article about it. You can look up my name, look up ginger, how to grow it in a container. Very, very easy. It does. Now, you do have to be patient with ginger when you're growing ginger, because it does take a while. Ginger and turmeric both take quite a while. So what I did when I was growing it was I took the pot and I put it into a corner of the garden where I wouldn't have to see it, but it got enough rain when it needed the water, because I'm not patient when it comes to growing certain. I want my ginger and I want it now.
Like, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Seriously, are you ready yet? Come on.
Exactly,
It's not that
exactly.
kind of herb.
Exactly. Let's go back. Kathleen says she's growing ginger herself. Karen says turmeric takes 10 months apparently. Yes, it does. And ginger takes roughly around the same. So you do have to be very patient when you're growing ginger or turmeric. They're in the
Yeah.
same family. They do take quite a bit of time. So um, my suggestion is, when you're about 5 months before you harvest one pot, or wherever you're growing it, start growing another
And keep
another
going.
portion, so you constantly have enough that you're going to be harvesting. Okay, that's just a little tip. um, Ginger also helps with, we mentioned the nausea with morning sickness. That's a benefit that's been going through the feed. If you're going through any kind of chemotherapy, it also helps with the nausea related to
The
chemotherapy
nausea. Hmm.
treatments, right?
Or anything, for anything. It just helps with nausea, period. It's
Yeah.
really good for that. Mhm.
Um, some people say that nausea, that the not nausea. Some people say that ginger also helps with the weight loss, because I guess it helps to regulate the blood sugar, which could help with weight loss. I don't know. I've never really worked with ginger in that manner, but I know I've heard some people say that it does. It also helps with, it's anti-inflammatory. So if you have any kind of issues relating to joint pain, that was one of the things that how I worked with ginger. I used the ginger essential oil, and I mixed a few other oils with it, and I have a nerve and joint pain blend that I would massage into all of my joints. So I literally smelled like an herbal cabinet on a daily basis for a very long time, in order to alleviate the joint issues that I was having. So ginger is very, very good when it comes to any kind of inflammatory illnesses. Cecilia says ginger tastes very strong for me when it's raw. It is very, very strong. But
Yeah.
I love to just chew on a piece. Not everybody can just chew on the raw ginger. Powdered ginger is just as powerful. You just don't have that bite, when you
Right.
bite into a piece of raw ginger.
I boil it. Once I boil it, and then I'll start eating them. Once in the
Mhm.
tea, I'll chop up the pieces and they'll be in there raw, and I'll just start chomping on them after, and I'll just start. And they're not as strong now because they've been absorbed with the water. So you may want
Exactly.
to try that. See, so that
Mhm.
works.
Add
Mhm.
a couple pieces of the ginger with some lemon in the morning. No sugar, no honey, no nothing. Just and sip on that. It's a perfect way to start your day, because you get those digestive juices going, and it prepares your body for whatever it is you're going to have to eat.
That's really good.
I do that, MJ. I can grow my own, Cheryl says. And she also says, oh my gosh, yes, thanks so much. Also helps so much with arthritis. Exactly. Yes, the anti-inflammatory benefits.
You see all that?
Ah,
Just this one tea, all the ingredients that we're putting in this one thing, all the things that you've all listed yourself, and that's just drinking tea. So
mhm,
imagine just stopping and really focusing on the tea and say, I'm going to give this tea, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes. You don't have to do a whole bit and give
mhm,
it me, because it's going to give me more benefits than I can ever imagine. It's like
mhm,
grounding with this crystal. You're grounding with
mhm,
petrified wood. You're literally reconnecting with yourself. I think your
mhm.
organs will thank you.
They will. Not I think. They will thank you. Yes. Um, Carmencita says, I consume it to boost my immune system. Exactly. This tea is going to be amazing for your immune system because every single ingredient boosts your immune system. Okay.
Absolutely.
And like I've always said, I say 75%, at least 75% of your immune system resides in your gut. All of these ingredients are good for your gut, your
Yeah.
stomach, your intestines, all of that. So you're definitely going to boost your immune system by consuming this tea. And like I mentioned to MJ, I didn't do any research on the black tea. You do not need to put black tea into this to consume this. The vanilla, the cinnamon, the ginger, those three ingredients on their own makes it a very powerful tea. Okay, so
It really does.
you don't need to add anything else to this.
So we want to add on the spiritual properties of ginger. Now, ginger is healing. It's about love and money. It's very energetic. So let's talk about the healing. So when I think of ginger, I think of citrine because it's just so powerful to heal. It's abundance in itself and the properties that it has for healing. So for me, I would consider citrine to be the ginger crystal. And that's personally. If you find another one, just put it in the comments what you feel. But for me, because it's that healing, that love, that power. It's like I'm here to do my job. I'm citrine. And that's how I feel. And then when we're talking about the black tea, let's talk about that for a moment because I did look at that part. Black tea is married as a masculine energy. That's winter.
Mhm,
And we're drinking this gingerbread tea in winter. So the
mhm,
crystal that I got for that with me would be obsidian. Obsidian is the
mhm,
perfect stone for black tea, and it's like a banishing. It's like get away. It's like a dark energy. It's like this
mhm,
is my wall and you need to stop. It's like I need to regroup. Give me a minute. I'm going to put up
mhm.
this wall, my shield of protection. I'm going to banish your energy and I'm going to regroup. So when you're
Yeah.
blending them all together, the black tea, the ginger, the vanilla, and you kind of get just an experience of
Mhm,
love, compassion, protection, because you got that black tea for me is protection. So anytime you put a little bit with the mixture, you're protecting
yeah.
yourself. I'm a
Mhm.
protection girl, so for me, we always should have that. So, and that's what spiritually I got from the ginger and the black tea.
Cheryl says, "Can I add burdock root instead of um, black any interactions?" I'm guessing um, she doesn't really care about the black tea, so she's asking if she can
Okay.
add burdock root. Burdock root is really great for your liver. It's good for your gallbladder. It's a good detox. So yes, that would work really well with the ginger. It would work really well with the cinnamon. So if you want to substitute burdock root instead of putting in black tea, go right ahead. And guys, we're only sharing this particular tea blend because that's what's in there, this particular one.
Right.
You can certainly take these ingredients and kind of play around and come up with some amazing blends on your own. Okay?
Absolutely. Use your intuition. We want you to,
Exactly.
this is where we call in the magic and the magic of a tea. Cool. Yeah. Okay. This is not going to work for me. I don't want black tea. Get out of here. I don't need protection. I need this. Please use it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And come back and let us know what you use because we would love the recipes.
Exactly. Exactly. Black pico, correct? Let me see what I'm gonna get back to you on that one, Cheryl. I'm gonna look at the ingredients because this it only says organic black tea, but I'm guessing it's pico tea. But I will get back with you on that one, Cheryl. I'll do a little bit more research. I love that. I love that the magic of the tea, don't you, Martha? Yes, that's what we're doing. We're elevating the whole, cup of tea. Um, it's the initially when I was thinking about the name for the show, I was coming up with the elevated cuppa, but I thought, no, let me just keep it simple with the tea talk. But that's exactly what we're doing, Martha. We're just elevating tea, because too many people think it's just a cup, but this is more than a cup of tea. When you really break down the spiritual benefits behind the ingredients as well as the medicinal benefits, you have magic in a cup.
You do.
It's as simple as that. So
remember, there was an old cartoon, Bugs Bunny, way back when. There used to be a witch. Her name was Gelda, and I'm Glenda. And if I'm dating myself, I don't care. Here we go. And she would be a cup of magical tea, and you, and then a Barbie pin would fall out.
yes, I do remember that.
Right?
Yes,
And
we're aging ourselves.
That's
what?
what
We look
song
good
just
for our
came in
age.
my head right now. Right? Hey, we look, man, we're in gold. We got it going on. Got it like that.
That's
I
right.
got it like that. We're Gucci. Hey. Anyway, back to but yeah,
British.
I think the tea is magic.
Thanks. Half
honestly.
British and Virgo, and so excited to learn from you. That was Cheryl.
Yay!
All right, so we're still talking about ginger. I mean, I literally have about 10 benefits written down, and we got to number 6, I think, helping with chronic indigestion. For those of you who are, I think we pretty much have our women on here, menstrual pain. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't have that issue anymore. But if you do, drinking a cup of ginger tea, that does help with that. And using the ginger essential oil, diluted, because again, this is another one of those hot oils. Dilute some ginger essential oil and massage over your tummy area, brings that pain way down.
That's
know
for other
I've done
pains
it.
as well.
Mhm.
That's for other things as well, because I use that for just regular pains in my body when I don't feel well. I have the cinnamon and I have the oil that I put on, and I do the ginger and all that. So please, yeah, absolutely. Start adding those. Take out those essential oils. You're gonna see. You're gonna be like, I have that, and start rubbing it instead of going to the Bengay. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Go to your essential oils. Make your own little. And it's more powerful because it's coming from you.
Exactly. A lot of I don't know if a lot of you follow me on my I do have a lupus page over on Facebook. It used to be called Beating Lupus the Natural Way. Now it's just my name and my title underneath, because I wanted to kind of step away from the just the lupus, experience or teaching about how to get healed from lupus. So now I teach about really taking your life to the next level, preventing illness in the first place, and living the life that God meant for you to live, free of illness, free of dis-ease, free of disease, all of that stuff. So I work with all of these herbs on a physical level, like the medicinal level, as well as on a spiritual level. So if you go to that particular page, you'll find a lot of information over there regarding this stuff. But yeah, so it was something I wanted to say and I completely forgot it, but that's okay. It'll come back to me when it's cholesterol. Ginger, as well as a few of the others I mentioned, will help to lower your cholesterol if you have an issue with cholesterol, that is. We mentioned that one. And the feed also mentioned that it supports your immune system. See, we just go to the feed. You're smart. Smart.
I'm
And
glad
the
that a
last
lot of
one,
people know. I'm really glad that everyone's really,
yes,
I think that it's important that we know about these things. So thank you, everyone that,
exactly. Yeah.
has commented.
And the last one I have on here is that it does reduce your risk of infection because it helps to fight harmful bacteria and viruses that you could come into contact with. Or one of the things I wanted to say was if you look over there, you'll see that I do mention a lot of biblical. Sometimes I mention biblical passages. One of the things you hear me say a lot, I repeat, is the plants and the trees are for the healing of the nation. That comes straight from the Bible. And I grew up in a culture where that's what we grew up with. If we got a fever, We walked outside. We cut off a piece of fever grass, aka lemongrass. I didn't know the actual name was lemongrass till I came over here, because we called it fever grass because it's what we went outside and we cut, we boiled it a little bit, we drank it, and the fever went away. Or if we had maybe a boil, I remember my grandmother taking a pepper leaf, heating it over the fire, and then putting, I think at the time she put a little bit of Vicks vapor rub on there, and she put on the boil, and it would bring all of that inflammation down. So I grew up with all of these things. So you'll hear me, talk about things from the Bible, because I am a Christian. Yes, I am also into crystals.
Spiritual. Yeah.
I'm a very spiritual person. I have researched the Bible. I have read the Bible. I have taken all of the crystals I found in the Bible that God dictated to. And I know this, I'm digressing, and it's because I grew up being told that crystals were of the devil, until I really read the Bible for myself and thought, well, God must be in cohorts with the devil, because didn't he dictate to Aaron, his soldier, how to work with certain crystals on his armor? So yes, if you hear me mention that I'm a Christian and I read the Bible, but yet here I am talking about, working with teas on a spiritual level and working with crystals, that's why, because I decided I am going to do this research for myself and really learn about how and why these crystals were worked with, and their benefits. And the thing is, let me just throw this out there. I think everybody works with crystals on a daily basis without realizing. If you own a piece of technology, guess what? There's crystals in there. Just want to throw that out there. Okay, I know that a lot of people on this feed aren't, the crystal bashing people. I know that the tribe here. But I know that there are a lot of people who are going to watch this and they're going to see me and they're going to think, oh, Gina. Okay, and all I'm going to say to that is, do the research. Really read the Bible for yourself.
Do the research.
Learn.
And there's always good and bad.
Absolutely.
And see, so she's a Christian going woman and she believes in the Bible, and I am not. I am a spiritual woman, and I believe in the stars and the sun and the universe. I believe in the gods and the goddesses. I believe that we come from the almighty goddess. So, but it's all the same. And if you read it all, it's all the same. We all believe in the earth, and that's what we should believe in. The earth and star and crystals come from the earth. They're not anything that was man-made. They were created here, just like the plants were created from the ground. So if you're going to look at it like that, all this is created from the universe for us to utilize and to heal and to take to different levels. We just need to be open-minded about our thinking, and no, nothing is bad. My grandfather was a minister at a church for 40 years. Okay. He just loved it. And that was his lifetime and his course. And I respect him and I loved him from it. But my course is different. I'm a tree hugger. I will be out there on the beach, giving all my worries to the beach. Take it, I can't take it no more. Please, Yimbaya. And calling in the spirit God. So, and that's just me. So whatever flows with you, but nothing is wrong. If you say, hey, no, this is devil work, well, I am sorry for you, but it's really not. But if I respect your judgment, just like I respect that this was created, this beautiful crystal came from the ground and was created just like everything else, like the ginger, like the vanilla, just like the cinnamon, to help us heal ourselves. And when we really awaken our minds to all the possibilities, you know what? Look at Gina. Gina is a perfect example of a person that opened her mind to all. I'm going to use her term, all God's gifts that he provided on this earth for her to heal herself. And that's what we are doing. We're trying to show you, take a moment, be more spiritual with this beautiful cup right here is just like magic. Let's enjoy this magic. Let's not criticize it. Let's not judge each other. Let's like, oh my God, you said crystal or you said this. No, Gina's a beautiful person, and so am I. And we want to show you the beauty that's in this cup of tea. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and I know we digress for a little bit, but I'm going to throw it again where MJ mentioned about the trees. Yes, I'm a huge tree hugger. And I have a gift where I actually feel the energy from trees. If a tree is cut down, I feel it. And I know that sounds weird. I've the first time I experienced that, I thought that there was something really wrong with me. I drove past an area where about 3 weeks prior it was a forest, and I drove past it a few weeks later, and I was literally like gasping for breath, and I couldn't understand why until I realized the trees weren't there, and I was crying. And that's when I first realized that I have this connection with nature. And it took an experience. Remember, I mentioned about the experience of me collapsing? It took that. And I say that, my brain broke on this particular day. The psychiatrist who I spoke to later, yes, I went to a psychiatrist and said, I think my brain is broken. Because from that day, I actually started to see angels. Just like I'm seeing MJ right here in front of all of you, I see angels. And I went to a psychiatrist and I said, my brain is broken. He said to me, well, tell me more. Why do you think so? I said, well, I was working in my garden. Long story short, a light came down, stood in front of me. I looked, the wings opened, came down, shot up back into the sky. And he just sat there very calmly, just mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was ready. He actually picked up a book and kind of flipped through it. And then he said to me, there's nothing wrong with your brain. Just think of it as God sending his angels to tell you that everything is going to be okay. And I
Absolutely.
looked at him and I
Absolutely.
said, are you okay? Aren't you a psychiatrist? Aren't you going to write me a script or something? That's what you do, right? He said, there's nothing wrong with your brain. You just think of it as God sending his angels to come and tell you that. And I would get into my car to go to work, and the entire back seat would light up, and you could see the outline of like feathers along the back seat. So when I'm telling you this stuff, I am, yes, I am hearing myself speak. I'm hearing the words I'm uttering. I know it sounds weird, but I can only speak from my personal experience, and these are my own personal experiences. I walk outside bare feet. I walk around here bare feet. People think I'm weird that I don't wear slippers in the house, but I like to connect with the ground. I walk outside bare feet, even if it's cold, just for a few minutes to connect with the ground. I'm heavily into grounding. I'm heavily into forest bathing or whatever it is, tree hugging, or whatever you want to call it. That is me. And I've had some spiritual experiences that are beyond explanation. And when you have those experiences your own, you get to a point where it doesn't matter what people say about you. And I think that's where I am. It's like I've had these experiences. No one can tell me that there isn't a God. Nobody can tell me that angels don't exist. You
Nope.
know, I've seen them. I've so right
Absolutely.
beside me, I have a drum. I work with sound therapy. I have a Tibetan sound bowl. I have shakers. I have crystals, and this is me. So that's a little bit more than you probably wanted to know about me today. But hey, this is this is who I am,
Let it all out, girl. Let them know this is
and
Gina, okay?
right, and this is why I reached out to MJ, because I know MJ. After we've communicated over the years and the groups that we've been in, I know her well enough to know I want her in my circle. I've learned a lot from MJ even last night. So this is, if you're here to hear me preach, that's not what I'm here for. If you're here to bash about why we shouldn't be doing these things, then
Just take a deep breath.
this is the wrong place, because I've done enough research. So that was a flicker, and I think that was a sign that we needed to move on. So thank you for that sign. Moving on.
Thank you, angels. Thank you.
All right. So yes, today was the first elevated tea talk with Gina and MJ and Gina, and this was a very simple tea, but it's not simple by a long shot. We only mentioned the ginger, the vanilla, the cinnamon. It sounds simple, but when you really put together the spiritual aspect of this, you will really take your tea to a whole new level. So I'm going to stop talking in just 1 second, because remember there was a thing I wanted to mention about turmeric and the gifts that were given to baby Jesus. Remember I mentioned that cinnamon at one time was more valuable than gold. So I've often wondered, well, why would gold have been given to baby Jesus in the first place? Yes, I know gold is like a symbol of his royalty and that sort of thing, but his dad was old. He had a young wife. At age 2, they had to take this dangerous journey through what I believe was part of it was the spice route. How was he going to utilize gold, the metal? Because at the time, gold really wasn't worth that much. And these are just my thoughts. You can certainly plug in your thoughts, because these are just research and just ideas that have been going through my head. Turmeric, on the other hand, in biblical days was known as golden spice. And we know the Bible has been translated for many, many years, and over time, words could have been changed from golden spice to gold or golden, whatever. And I truly believe that golden spice or turmeric was the actual gold that was given to baby Jesus. So it was, to me, my opinions, my thoughts, golden spice, frankincense, and myrrh. Why? Together, they're the most powerful anti-inflammatory blend on the planet. And we're looking at a man, Joseph, who was much older than his wife, right? Who was going on a dangerous trek, knees, joint pain. Turmeric was going to help him with that. Frankincense was going to help. Myrrh was going to help. Yes, later on, myrrh was also utilized in at Jesus' crucifixion and his burial. But prior to that, that was the most powerful anti-inflammatory blend imaginable. So isn't it possible that turmeric, which is just one of the ingredients here, I mean, yes, turmeric would have been, instead of the gold medal, just some thoughts. And don't take my word for it. Do your research, right? I know there's a lot that I went through with the Bible and the translations and how words have changed over time and all of that stuff. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there since I mentioned my anti-inflammatory blend. This does have frankincense, it has turmeric, and it has ginger in it. But the turmeric, I've just really been thinking a lot and researching a lot about that related to biblical times and the gifts and that sort of thing.
But for today,
And
this gingerbread doesn't have turmeric in it,
no,
right?
this does not have turmeric
This
in
blend
there.
doesn't, right? That's just a separate on its own that
Right.
you were just that had. But today, we're focusing on the gingerbread spice, and that's
Right.
black tea, cinnamon, ginger, and vanilla. Now, question for you: could we add some turmeric to that if we wanted to? How would it change the taste of it?
Well, you could add turmeric, and I would recommend adding, if you can find the fresh turmeric, I would add the fresh instead of the powder, because the powder, when it's powdered, it is very, very strong, and people tend to put in way too much. If you do have the powdered turmeric, add just a smidgen. And when I say a smidgen, I mean a tiny amount, because powdered turmeric is so it's very, very strong. If you're familiar with curry powder, the curry powder gets its yellow color from turmeric. Okay, it's the mustard. It gets its yellow color from turmeric. So if you're using it in the powdered form, you only need, if you're putting in, okay, for example, let me just open this tea bag In here, you have the black tea, cinnamon, ginger, and vanilla, right? Let me hold that up a little bit. That's what's in here. So you want to add maybe an eighth of what's in here, in equivalent, in turmeric. Okay, it is very, very strong in the powdered form. If you're using it in just in the fresh form, I would say maybe a quarter of an inch fresh. You really don't need a lot of it.
Right.
But
And you
yes,
just pinch
certainly
it
you
in.
can add
Yeah.
turmeric to this.
Pinch. Like, and I'm not a measure girl, so for me it would be just taking a little pinch and going boom, and that's it, and knowing that
Yes,
it's, because
yes,
a little goes a long way when it comes to turmeric. So just be,
exactly.
use as you can. But yeah, it's a beautiful ingredients to add to this
Mhm.
blend, and it's such a healing responsibility. I think for me, I I didn't pull, but for me, I think for me, I would make turmeric. Let's see. I think it would have to be like a fire crystal. For me, that would be a turmeric
Mhm.
right here, um, to add to the mix. But yeah,
One reminder, if you do decide to add turmeric, add a little bit of black pepper. Because black pepper adds as works as the catalyst to help to take that curcumin through the bloodstream.
that's
So
really good.
turmeric likes to piggyback on things like fat
So a
and
little bit. How much? How much would you say with the black pepper? Because black pepper can be strong. So what are we
yeah,
talking here?
just a dash. Just take
Just a
it.
little dash.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little
Okay.
dash.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Awesome.
So I
Awesome.
know we kind of digressed a little bit, but just to give you some ideas of how you can, you can certainly add your own ingredients to this if you wanted to. Yeah, we got a little bit of a chat going on about turmeric, that it's possible that turmeric was they considered it to be powdered gold. But yes, back in the day, even frankincense was considered to be more valuable than gold.
Right.
You
I
know,
heard turmeric was, so they called it milk. When I got it, they called turmeric gold milk. That's what I've heard
yes.
it. And in
Mhm,
Japan, they still call it gold milk, and it's
mhm,
used as milk in Japan. So,
mhm.
and all the Asian companies, the islands use it as a milk, is what I've
Yes.
been reading for. And the samurai back in the day, I found this interesting article about it. So this goes way back. We're getting
Yes.
way back with these amazing
Mhm.
herbs that we use. So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely we need to blend some up, you know. Put them in your little witches put a hoo and
Mhm.
add the magic. Add the
Yeah.
magic.
Definitely. All right, so let me see in the chat again. Cheryl says looks like gold when it's ground up. It certainly does, and you can see it from you know, that color. Karen says I break out in a rash on my face when I drink turmeric. Oh, so
Oh,
you have an allergic reaction to it.
okay.
So for those of you who I see there are people who tell me that they're allergic to lavender, and now she says she's allergic to turmeric. I just can't imagine because I'm
Okay. Challenge. Challenge.
love.
Challenge. We're going to find you the alternative for
Mhm.
turmeric. I'm going to write that down. You just gave me a challenge. We'll find
Yes.
you an alternative and we'll come back and we'll post what it is. So that way you can still have, because there's other herbs out there. We just got to find
Mhm.
the right one for you. Okay. So
Exactly.
alternative to turmeric. Okay.
And I know some people are also allergic to ginger. The thing is, there are so many different types of ginger, and you may not be allergic to all of them. So if there's somebody here who's allergic to ginger, and if you're here or if you're watching the replay, there are so many varieties of ginger. Some varieties are more expensive than others, but it's worth it just for the anti-inflammatory benefits alone, or even the anti-nausea. Ginger is something that we should all be working with. And so if you're allergic to maybe this particular one, there is a Thai ginger that looks kind of funky. It's almost like a cross between turmeric and ginger. They couldn't decide whether it wanted to be turmeric or ginger. So it kind of
I want to be this. So I want to be that.
yes. So the Thai ginger is it, and it to me it has almost a sweet flavor, but still that pungent taste to it. So it's kind of like I said, it couldn't decide. So it's a god. So if they're different, I'm sure that it probably depends on where the the turmeric might have been grown. So if you get turmeric from a different part of the world, maybe it won't affect you like it does from wherever you're getting it currently from. I don't know
It
if
could
this
be the ground.
sometimes.
It could be the ground. Yeah, I agree with you because here in Puerto Rico, when we grow stuff, things are taste sweeter. Now, if you eat a mango here and then you go to Costa Rica or Dominican Republic, this mango is more grainy. Okay, it's more
Mhm.
grainy, and it's not that it's not sweet, it's just more grainy. And even with the avocados, so what comes to say, it's the dirt, so it could be the dirt that you're
Yeah.
using, and maybe you need a different kind of dirt to get a different kind of reaction. you know that's just a speculation, okay?
Yes. Yes. But it's certainly something to think about. Karen says galangal root looks very similar to turmeric. Yes, because it's in the same family. Galangal, ginger, turmeric, they all come from the same family. So, yeah, that's a good observation. Cheryl says she lived in Japan till she was 5, raised by um, a Japanese nanny and golden milk. So
Golden milk,
yes, they
see?
do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Mhm. Yep. Golden milk is very popular in the Ayurvedic tradition. So if you are familiar with Ayurveda, turmeric milk or golden milk goes back for thousands of years. The Ayurvedic
Way back.
tradition is about 5,000 years old. So you can certainly find it mentioned in there. So that was our tea for today. That was gingerbread spice, and the ingredients were ginger, vanilla, cinnamon, and black tea, but you certainly don't have to add the black tea. The other ingredients stand alone. They're powerful just as they are. But
A beautiful tea.
if you want to add other things like the turmeric, you certainly can. The idea is to get you to start thinking about these ingredients on your or thinking about your spice cabinet in a whole other level, on a spiritual level, rather than just this bottle that you reach for to sprinkle in to your foods whenever you're cooking. It's more than that. And I've actually had people ask me because they've witnessed me cooking, and I say things, if I'm sprinkling in some cinnamon, I always mention in some cinnamon for, you know, whatever benefits. And people have caught me and say, well, what are you doing? Are you talking to your food? I'm like, yeah, I do. And the other thing I do is I say thank you. Each time I sprinkle a particular item in or a particular spice, I express gratitude to the plant that sacrificed in order for me to have this particular spice that I'm putting into my food. And it elevates your meals on a, I mean, it kicks it up a notch, as Emerald would say. So when you start to think about cooking and eating as a spiritual experience, yes, that's where I would love for everyone to get to, not to this drive through, eat in your car type of
Give
deal.
me a tea real quick. I gotta get to work kind of stuff. We want you to get out
Right.
there. We want you to ground. Like I said, when it comes
Yes.
to this crystal, this is why this stone, this is petrified wood. Okay, this has been around for centuries. Petrified grounds you back into nature, just like the tea you're drinking. So why not reconnect with yourself? And when you say, "Oh, I'm not grounded," somebody asks, "Have you ground today?" Pick up your glass of tea
Mhm.
and say, the magic is in the tea, and I got it. And in
Exactly.
saying that, I want you to say that. And I pulled a card because I felt we needed a card pull for this, and it's really fun.
Yes.
I pulled from the sacred forest because it's all about the trees. And it's
Right.
funny that I got the crystal cave because it's time for us to realize that crystals are not a bad thing. They're part of the
Mhm.
universe. And they're all around us. And each crystal gives you a different meaning, a different sense, it helps you. Okay, this is body, mind, and spirit, just like the tea. So let's start connecting and open our mind, just like I want you to open your minds to different flavors and what the tea does for you with benefits and spiritually. Open your
Mhm.
mind to allowing different avenues of spirituality come in, like crystals.
Mhm.
It's a
Yep.
beautiful thing to do. Okay, I'll admit I'm a crystal hoarder. Shh, don't tell nobody. But when I tell you what it does for me
Mhm.
physically to my body, I've gone through major, I'm really quick, I've gone through major operations. I've had back fusions. And when I tell you that I have crystals that just sit in my bed to help me heal, And the tea, so between the teas and the crystals, it's just a magical blend. And I just be open about it. You don't, if you don't, oh, I can't, I understand that. Just start with one. Go get an amethyst. Just touch it, feel it, see what it looks to you. It's purple. Purple. Purple's a beautiful color. And look at that. Just look at, I mean, imagine what you can do with this crystal is protection. This picture is courage. This picture is understanding who you are. This crystal is healing. Look at all the benefits in one crystal. That's the benefits of the tea as well. So my card for you today is open yourself up to crystals and understand that just like the herbs we drink, the crystals heal as well. Okay. It's been a pleasure being here for me. I
It's
love
been a
this.
pleasure for me too. But I wanted to read a couple more comments. Karen says,
Oh,
I thank the plants, my guides, for bringing it to me when I pick from my garden. And if I may take some first. So she actually asked the plants, am I able to take some from you? Right. So that's a very good thing, because I think we tend to just look at plants as being just some things out there, but they have their own consciousness. So when we connect with plants on that level, it's
yeah.
so much better. My plants tell me where I can pick from.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Even with the when I make wands, when I make a branch from the tree or something, we have mango trees. Can I have that? I wouldn't take, I'll ask. And even if it's on the ground, I would look up it and say, hey, do you mind if I take this? You know, and just to give it the respect. I'm a tree, like I love the trees. So for me, they're alive to me. They are alive. So I ask them, just like I ask you or this, I ask them, hey, may I have you? May I touch you? This is like the Wizard of Oz, you know? Hey, the tree, don't touch me. Just like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been amazing. I think initially when we talked, we said, oh, 30 minutes. Well,
That's what I thought.
yeah, no, no. This is, but I don't mind. It's been an hour and a half, and it's been an hour and a half of amazing. This is way more than I was expecting, and I am so glad. Thank you so much, MJ. And for those of you who were here, thank you so much for being here. There's a lot of thank you, thank you, thank you in the feed.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ladies. This was great. Blessings to you both from Lillian. Karen says, thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful MJ, beautiful Gina.
Thank you. I
Lisa
love you.
says, this was an amazing talk. Thank you. And there's so much more of that. Yes. So thank you all for joining us today. We will be back at the same time next week, because it is
Same
Tea
bat
Talk
station?
Tuesdays.
Same. Oh wait, no bat. Okay, same team time. Yeah, I'll make
Yes,
up a logo. We'll be back.
yes, yes, yes. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. But thank you so much, and love to you, and love to all of you
Thank you.
in the feed, and for those of you who are going to be watching this later, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
Crystal blessings.